As Unitarian Universalists, we are often asked what we believe, and we often stumble over it. We fall into the trap of saying what we are not rather than what we are. We are not like the other churches. We don't believe in eternal damnation. We aren't connected to this. And one of the things we used to hear a lot more, and an attempt to be more positive, was that you would hear somebody say, well, you can believe whatever you want and be a Unitarian Universalist. And as I mentioned last week, this isn't true. There are beliefs that are absolutely not in harmony with our faith tradition, that there is just no room for. Theological beliefs about eternal damnation, for instance, or beliefs that one group of people is inherently better than another group of people. I think that this comes from a desire to want to try to frame our faith in a more positive way, as opposed to a litany of what we are not. But by saying that you can believe anything you want, that opens doors to other problems. One of the hallmarks of the Reverend Bill Sinkford's tenure as president of the Unitarian Universalist Association was the emphasis that he put on us Unitarian Universalists developing our elevator speeches. The idea is that your elevator speech is what you would say if you were on an elevator going from the 6th floor to the lobby and somebody asks you, well, what's a Unitarian Universalist? You got 6 floors. My elevator speech for a long time talked about how some faith traditions stress right belief, that believing the right thing, usually their thing, is what's most important. Other faith traditions stress right action, that what you believe is not as important as what you do. Unitarian Universalists, I said, are about right relationship with each other and with our world. And we work to be in right relationship, not because someone tells us we have to, but because we love each other and we love our world and everyone in it. This sentiment was echoed in the 2005 Commission on Appraisal report. That was a committee from the Unitarian Universalist Association. Their report was entitled Engaging Our Theological Diversity, and it cited a study from 1976 that found that even back then, Unitarian Universalists ranked love as a core value more highly than other respondents from other groups, both religious and non-religious. And yet, interestingly enough, our beloved 7 principles, adopted in 1985, do not mention the word love a single time. It is in our sources, but it's not in our principles, nor is it in the newer 8th principle. So in 2020, the board of the Unitarian Universalist Association, responding to shifting terrain brought on by the pandemic, by the racial uprisings, by deepening understandings of equity and systemic challenges, they commissioned a group to review the principles, which are found, as Sarah said, in Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. The board said that this group, appropriately but very uninspiringly named the Article 2 Study Commission, could have been a little more creative in my opinion, that this group, this Article 2 Study Commission, should propose any revisions that would enable our UUA, because remember, we are the UUA, the member congregations and our covenanted communities, to be a relevant and powerful force for spiritual and moral growth, healing, and justice. The Article 2 Study Commission was charged to root its work in love as a principal guide, attending particularly to the ways that we have understood and articulated love and how we have acted out of love. Since the time of their charge in 2020, the commission has been working on just that. They reached out to a very, very long list of stakeholders. They conducted focus groups, individual interviews, surveys. They developed congregational resources for small group ministry and for group discussion. Over the course of their work, the commission engaged in dozens of feedback sessions with thousands of total participants. Their videos reached nearly 10,000 viewers, and their 29 surveys generated even more responses. So they talked and listened a lot. And then, after a lot of back and forth, as you heard in our Words for All Ages, it came before our annual General Assembly last June. General Assembly is the governing body of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and it is made up of delegates from all our congregations. The delegates talked, they debated, they caucused, they argued, they created, they voted a lot, they submitted revisions, and over the course of several months, finally, just a few months ago in October, the Article 2 Study Commission released the final version that will be voted on at our General Assembly in June this year. And let me tell you, what they came up with fills my heart. Love, they observe, is at the center of our faith. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. And as you heard, JETPIG, they identified the shared values that arise out of love as justice, equity, and transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Take a moment and look at the sticker you got a few minutes ago. If you don't have one, please raise your hand and Mike Hurdle will bring you one. I'm not seeing any. Oh, a few, okay. And for those of you online, I am so sorry that we did not get stickers to you in time, but please send me an email and we will get them to you. We can stick them in the mail with no problem. Tanya Webster took the 6 values, the JETPIG values, and created what is called a flower of values design that you see on this sticker. Let's dive into these shared values, and as we do, I want you to hold the stickers, and we're gonna pump energy of our values into the stickers as we hold them, okay? We're gonna imbue our stickers with meaning. Now, I'm gonna go in a little bit different of an order than JETPIG, and a little bit different than what's on the stickers, because what I really love about this is that none of them is more important than any of the others. There's not a first value or a second value or a third, right? They are all important. There's not a hierarchy. And so I think it's good to mix it up occasionally. I'm gonna start with interdependence. The commission identified that we honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. This means that we covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. So now I ask you, quietly to yourself, how do you see the value of interdependence manifest in Unitarian Universalism at large, or specifically here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Indianapolis? Hold your sticker and think about the ways that this congregation practices interdependence, from the solar array to the LED light bulbs, to the behavioral covenant and disruptive behavioral policies. What are other ways you see us acknowledging and living out this value of interdependence. Let's breathe together 3 times as we hold our stickers and think about interdependence. All right, let's go to pluralism next. The Commission identified that we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. And because of this, we covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, like we talked about last week. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. How do you see the value of pluralism manifest in Unitarian Universalism at large, or specifically here at UUI? Hold your sticker and think about the ways that this congregation practices pluralism, from honoring that we come from so many different life experiences, to the tradition of freedom of the pulpit and freedom of the pew. Are there other ways you see us acknowledging and living out this value? Let's breathe together 3 times as we hold our stickers and think about pluralism. Generosity. The Commission identified that we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope, and as a result, we covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. How do you see the value of generosity manifest in our faith at large, or specifically here at UUI? As you hold your sticker, think about the ways this congregation practices generosity, from how you share your money to support the congregation, to how you volunteer because it is your church, to the spirit of generosity when someone makes a mistake. Are there other ways you see us acknowledging and living this value? Let's breathe together a few times as we hold our stickers and think about generosity. Equity. The Commission identified that we declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. And because of this, we covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. How do you see the value of equity manifest in our faith at large and here at UUI? Hold your sticker and think about all the ways, from how our religious education classrooms are becoming more inclusive for neurodiverse children and youth, to how we share our pronouns to create a welcoming space, to the ramps and automatic doors on our buildings. Are there ways that you see us acknowledging and living out this value? Let's breathe together a few times as we hold our stickers and think about equity. Justice. The Commission identified that we work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. Our eighth principle here. And so we covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. So a couple of principles in this one, right? How do you see the value of justice manifest in Unitarian Universalism at large, and specifically here at UUI? Hold your sticker again and think about how this congregation practices justice, from how you passed the eighth principle a few years ago to the 20 of you who signed up to take the Trans Inclusion in Congregations course for the first round. And there'll be more opportunities later this year. Are there ways you see us acknowledging and living out this value? Let's breathe together and hold our stickers and think about justice. And that finally brings us to transformation. The commission identified that we adapt to the changing world, and because of this, we covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually, ethically. Openness to change, they say, is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. The quote I read last week, that Universalists do not stand, we move. How do you see this value of transformation manifest in Unitarian Universalism, or specifically here at UUI? Hold your sticker and think about the ways this congregation practices transformation from the work you all are doing during this interim period to growing a culture of shared ministry, to engaging with each other with curiosity and learning from one another. Let's breathe together as we hold our stickers and think about transformation. All right, interdependence, pluralism, generosity, equity, justice, transformation, with love at the very center, the root of it all. This makes my heart so happy. If you are interested in learning and hearing more about this process and what will be happening at General Assembly this year, our own David Jackaway will be leading a workshop on this in March. So keep your eyes and your ears open for that. All right. So now that you have pumped all these positive thoughts into this sticker, the sticker that you have that is imbued with all of these thoughts, I want you to think about the love that you have for this congregation and for our faith. And if you're visiting, think about the love you would hope to find in a congregation or a faith tradition. Think about the love you hope to receive, the love that you deserve. So let's breathe together 3 more times as we hold our stickers, and let's pump our gratitude, our love, and our aspirations for our faith and for this congregation into the sticker you are holding. 3 more breaths. All right, and now that your sticker is vibrating with so much in it, I invite you to turn to someone near you and trade stickers. Here, we'll get more. Okay, we'll have to get more. All right, we ran out of stickers. There will be more. I told you. You're going to need them. Love is more than just a feeling. It is a call to action. It is how we are in right relationship with each other and with the world around us. I am so grateful to the Commission for their work, and I'm going to be modifying my elevator speech so that it's something like this. As Unitarian Universalists, we honor the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings and that our diversity makes us better. It makes us stronger. We declare boldly that every person has the right to flourish with inherent worth and dignity, and so we work to build inclusive, multicultural, beloved communities where all can thrive. As we engage in this work of right relationship, we cultivate spirits of gratitude and hope. We recognize that we are all learning and growing, and so we are open to change and transformation. And at the center of all of this is love. That's love with a capital L, by the way. May it be so. Blessed be.